Welcome again, guys, to another episode of the Bird Herd presented by Redbird Esports. Tonight, it's Terry Coughlin again, as well as Max Martin, joined by DrewDozer, who is our League of Legends varsity mid laner for Redbird Esports. How you doing, Drew?
Pretty good. I lost like 8 rank games today and only won one, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good.
Oh no!
Yikes.
Yeah.
Sounds like a rough start to the day there.
I went from like 990 LP to 850, so I'm pretty far down now.
That's a jump.
Yeah, and the only game that I won today, I got 10 LP when I've been losing like 20 per loss. So it is a very negative day in ladder point sense, but
Yikes!
in normal day, I'm doing pretty good.
Well, that's good, man.
So, Drew, I'm one of those people who has pretty much no clue anything League of Legends related. And so far, all I know about you is that you are the mid laner. So I just need to know really quick, what is your job in these matches?
The mid laner's job is helping the early game, like helping the jungler like get camps and objectives in the early game through priority in your lane. And I also shot call sometimes, but sometimes my calls aren't the best. Like I kind of make a call and we like lose a dragon off of it. So I've been stopping that, but yeah.
Dragons being what
objective, sorry.
that's okay. I figured that's kind of what that was. Because there's is there like a few different dragons before they can reach your end or whatever the hell it's called?
Dragons give a buff, and if you get 4 dragons, then you get like a super OP buff. And
Nice.
when you get that super OP buff, it's like basically impossible to lose.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
it's just it's an objective that people play around in games to further their chance to win.
Yeah, and if you can't win with that, we do have an even better buff.
Oh yeah.
Dragon
And
after that.
after you get the super OP buff, you get the super OP buff, which if you lose with that, you should stop playing League of Legends.
That would be me. That would literally be me. It'd be like sitting there just contemplating, like, do I uninstall this right now? Or I don't know. I feel like that's me with most games at this point. Just happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
I mean,
Unfortunately.
so I know that, like, you know, our ISU, like our varsity League of Legends team is pretty good. I just like am curious, like, what's the biggest challenge, I guess, of being on a team that plays at a high level like this?
So I've been on a multitude of different teams, and each team has had its ups and downs. And the clear up that I can see from this team is individually, we are all pretty good players. Like we are all smart. We all have really good mechanics, and we all play pretty well. But getting together, sometimes it's hard. Like it's hard to get all the 5 people on the same page, and sometimes we just make like pretty dumb mistakes.
Right. I feel like that's yeah. I team-based games are obviously can be so hard, and I feel like once you do have that click where everything starts to come together, and obviously that comes with time, whether it's 1 month or a year. I feel like every team needs a bit of time, and it sucks because I feel like in college, I don't know obviously what year everybody on the team is, but people graduate, people move on, so
Yeah.
I feel like that could be difficult to all be on the same page for an extended period of time. But I have heard that you guys are pretty good. Some of the Siege kids were watching you guys and trying to explain to me kind of what was happening, and it was pretty cool.
I used to play Siege. I played Capcan and Caviera.
Okay, yes, 2 excellent defenders. I love it.
And I had a patented strategy called roaming rook, where you roamed as rook.
Oh
and
my
didn't
god,
press down
I
your
do that.
armor.
Oh, I love it. You put the armor on the other side of the map and you say, have you ever seen Roman Rook? And you just go around the map. Yes, still very viable. Do it all the time, actually.
I'm glad it's still viable. I haven't played Siege in like a year and a half.
You know what? You're really not missing much right now. I can't say you're missing much.
Yeah, I heard that.
Every time I like look at the icon on my desktop, I'm like, do I want to do this to myself today? Like, I'm having a pretty good day so far. I feel like this might not be what I should do to cap off my good day.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes. I mean, obviously, if I think everybody here has played games for a long time. I mean, how do you guys get yourself out of a slump, would you say?
I mean, with League, slumps are very, very common. It's like I think a slump and a lose streak are synonymous, and it's really weird because in the past 3 days, I've won 5 games in a row, lost 7 in a row,
Oh my God.
won 7 in a row, lost 7 in a row. So it's I don't know. I swear it's so weird. In League, more than any other games, you just like streak. You win streak and lose streak, and it's so hard to get off those streaks.
Yeah, Gig, I mean, how do you think that you like handle those kinds of slumps?
Yeah, I'm definitely in one of those right now because I just lost all 3 of my ranked games today.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sick.
Like the one I should have won, and I'm just like, okay, I literally couldn't do anything there other than just, tell my team not to int because they just did. And it's just like they're just making like so many different decisions that's just like, okay, why? They're bad decisions. Don't do it. Like just stay here. Like stay with me. I will pick off the one. Everyone else will do the rest. And yeah, I think it's the big thing is just taking that mental reset of like, okay, some people have it where it's a rule of thumb of like after like 1 or 2 losses, like they stop like for like 30 minutes an hour or for the day. Some people are all different and everything like that. Some people are very much they'll run it down for 10 games and wonder why they aren't getting wins.
That would be me. That's me. By like the 9th or 10th game, I'm going like 0-9 or something, and I'm just like, why do I keep doing it? And then I hit Q again.
Yep, that is League for sure. You lose 5 in a row, you get so mad, you get so frustrated, and you just queue again.
You say, all right, you know what? Let's run it back. I think we got this one.
It's sunk cost fallacy. It's like, I lost 5, but I can't end on a loss, so I'm going to play, but then you just keep losing. I have lost numerous amounts of games from the mindset of I don't want to end on a loss.
Absolutely.
It's like midnight. I just lost 3 in a row. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna win 1 and go to sleep. It's 4 a.m. I'm down 5 losses. It's like, goddamn.
I'll tell you a game that I think is dangerous to try and end on a win, and that's Rocket League. You could play 18 games of Rocket League and win 1 of them, and it keeps you coming back. And it's an awful feeling. You're like, all right, well, you got to at least try and end on a win, and then it's 7 a.m. You're like, oh my God, the sun's coming out. And the comms have completely disappeared at that point.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've never played Rocket League. The most competitive games I've played are like Overwatch and League. I used to be pretty big into Overwatch. I was like low master, but that was when Brigitte was OP.
I really tried to get into Overwatch. I think it was actually one of the first games I downloaded when I built my PC back in 2017, and I was so overwhelmed. I hopped in a game and there's some guy flying above me. There's a guy shooting me to the left. There's a guy to the right. There's a hamster rolling around or some crap like that. And I was like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah.
Let me just line up this shot real quick. I can't, there's so much going on. I'm sure if I like revisited it now, having some of like the FPS aim and knowledge, it might be a little bit different, but it was for sure pretty crazy for me at the time.
Hey man, you're gonna go 50 shots, no kills on Widowmaker. It's no problem. It's fine. You can have all the game knowledge that you want, man, and you're still gonna go 50 shots, no kills.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think the good thing to kind of just do it is just a mental reset for some people. Like, I agree.
Sure.
It's the whole mental set of like, but I could have just won that one. I'll play another, kind of thing, and go till you win. And I've done that plenty of times, especially in Rocket League or anything else. And now Rocket League's actually free on Epic. So
yes. I actually, there was some pretty cool changes made. There were some good UI changes made when I logged in. It made me like do this weird tutorial, which I think it made everybody do it, but it was just like default controller settings. And I was like, that's not how I boost, or that's not how I drive. But it was weird. I was upset when they like got rid of their crates in that game and they made it like blueprints to like get new car designs and new items. I didn't like that, but that's Epic Games, and you know, you kind of have to expect that and the Battle Pass, and of course the Rocket Pass came out shortly after.
Yeah, I think it's the big thing is I think a lot of them are trying to get rid of the whole crate system,
Right.
just because I know a lot of like companies and like I think the government's kind of just like let's kind of steer away from these. Like battle passes is fine because if you call it a blueprint, it's not a crate. So I think blueprint was started by either Battlefront with EA because I think they were one of the first ones that they were crates, but they were blueprints for something. So unless it was Battlefield, that would be the only other one. Because like you look at Call of Duty uses blueprints. I'm sure you guys might use blueprints with Siege. I don't play Siege, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty much just like alpha packs or what they're called.
Gotcha.
Same concept though. I think like my favorite game or like my favorite experience I've ever had with crates was in CS:GO. I had like maybe $5 in my Steam wallet, and I had some cases, and I was like, you know what, whatever, dude, I'll buy some of these 40 cent, you know, whatever. And I ripped one open and ended up getting a $750 knife out of it. And I've still got money in my Steam wallet to this day.
Well, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's treated me well. I actually immediately threw back some of that money into like into some more cases, and then I was like, okay, I can't do this. I'm about to blow $750 and not get anything. That's how they get you.
Yeah, they always get me. It wasn't CS, I think that got me. It was H1 that definitely got me. I bought so many crates. It is definitely one of those things that like I've probably spent like maybe a couple hundred in the game, but the game's been around for a long time, and I also spent stuff because back then it wasn't two separate games. It was, you know, there's a survival game and then there was the battle royale with it. So now it's like, oh, if you didn't have it when the battle royale was together, now you don't get it. And I'll just be like, oh, great. Now I'm going to go spend more money on this game and buy more keys. Like,
I honestly, I could say I would have loved to have played H1 like back in its prime. I downloaded it like just because I got bored of Fortnite one day because, you know, I was a Fortnite gamer cranking 90s, and I tried the game, and I was like, oh my god, like what is this? What is this? And like you know, obviously had seen old clips and like old ninja clips when I was still like a ninja fanboy, and it like looked fun, but you know, obviously past its prime.
oh yeah, I mean it is. And the problem is there's like another one that just came out that is literally a reskin of the game that just runs slightly better because you still have like some of the drop issues, you know, a bullet, you know, because
Yeah.
you know it's not perfect. Like obviously it's not gonna be a beam, you know, sometimes kind of like Call of Duty is, but it's not like, oh my god, if I don't hit it perfectly, like how I need to do in Battlefield, I'm not gonna get it, kind of a thing. Like I'm not gonna get that headshot or anything. It's just sometimes, you know, the game just doesn't want you to win. It's just
Yeah.
who it is.
Absolutely, yeah. The game developers have it out for me. It's not my fault. It's never my fault.
Oh yeah.
It's always the game. It's some other source. Some other thing is messing me up.
Yeah, so Drew, is this your first year at ISU or
Yeah, I'm a freshman. I'm still 17.
Oh my
I'm 18.
goodness.
Oh wow. You're
Wow.
a baby.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm 17 and everyone else on my team is 21 and older. So it's like I am like the zoomer of
Wow,
the team. But
That's
I
blowing my
turn-
mind.
I turn 18 Monday after next. So big
Dude,
18.
good for you. You to be able to come in here at 17 and be on a varsity team playing at the level that you're playing at. That's pretty incredible, man.
Yeah, thank you.
I envy having skill, I guess, at video games. So that's cool, man. I respect that. Are you? Yeah, I know you said that you played a little bit of Siege, a little bit of Overwatch, but are you mostly just MOBAs, kind of like League?
Yeah, it's mostly just League. Like I play random games with my friend. I played Minecraft since like 2011. Some Among Us, of course.
Oh yes.
I used to play some CS:GO. I was pretty bad at it. Played some Fortnite. I played like all the games that people play, but League has always been the OG. It's always been I started with this game, and this is the game that I play the most. Like every other game is like a background character.
Right. I mean, obviously, if you're playing at the level that you're playing at, it's important to always be practicing and improving. And,
For sure.
you obviously have a connection and passion for the game. So I can see where you're coming from. Have you ever tried Smite?
Yeah, but coming from League, going to like from the best MOBA to not the best MOBA, it's just like why would I play Smite when I could play League?
Yeah, I feel like just about everybody has that mentality. I know, I know a group of guys that really enjoy Smite for different reasons. I feel like most of the people that I've heard enjoy Smite, it's because like they can just use WASD. So I mean, like, I get it. I've played both. I think I liked both. I just liked the WASD on Smite, but I did like randomly clicking all over my screen on League too.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a difference. I think it's a lot of the Smite people are probably the MMO people like me, where it's like, oh, we're used to WSD for moving and things like that. So it's just like, oh, it's just more natural kind of a thing.
Yeah,
But
that makes sense.
I could definitely understand it if that's the case, or if it's not, because then it's probably just another shooter thing, I guess. For PC, I don't know. I started shooters on controller, so it's a bad habit to break.
Yeah. I was an Xbox kid for sure. Through and through.
I never played console. I always played PC ever since I was like, I think I started playing Toontown when I was 3.
Okay.
On my brother's computer.
Okay, we have to have a talk right now because I'm tapping my fingers together right now. I reinstalled Toontown like last month.
Toontown rewritten.
I am having a great time with it, man. I'm having so much fun. I feel like a child again. And
yeah, I miss Toontown. When Toontown Rewritten became a thing, I played it for like a year, but I haven't played it in so long. I might start, honestly. I think it was fun.
It's just such a good meme game, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, oh my gosh, this brings back all the memories, like all the jelly beans and going fishing in the pond and having to collect ice cream when you're sad or whatever.
Yeah, in the trolley.
Nah, like playing like with randoms was fun back in the day, but when you have like a group of friends and you can yell at them for like messing up on trolley games. Yeah, it's so much fun. I would recommend for anybody looking for a good meme for sure. So, what's your major then?
I'm undecided right now. I was gonna do nursing. Start a senior year. I was like, yeah, nursing seems good, and then I took the nursing class in my high school, and I'm glad I did because I didn't want to do it.
Nice, so. Yeah. At least you figured that out.
Yeah. So I'm open to whatever I feel, but nothing's set in stone right now.
Right.
Do you have like a kind of thing that you're maybe leaning towards or anything right now, or no? Like you're exploring, but not like you're not there yet.
Preferably something that involves talking to people every day. Like I've always wanted to be a therapist. That's been something in the back of my mind, like a therapist or a social worker or someone that works in a school, something like that.
My always a psych and communications, man.
Yeah, I took a psych class. I took AP Psych my senior year, and I liked it, but I don't know.
I took a psych class my freshman year here, and I just was like, oh wow, like this is. I kind of don't like knowing exactly what's going on. Like when I feel like this emotion or something, I'm like, yeah, it's the way it wigs me out.
I saw a tweet. It was like, it's like, how can psych majors be depressed, bro? Just look at your notes.
Right, exactly. As I'm the psych major, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that I'm just like, oh, like.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sad. Oh, I know exactly why I'm sad.
Exactly.
Doesn't make me feel any less sad.
Yeah.
Nope, it doesn't, but you at least kind of know how to.
Yeah.
Work through it a little bit.
You can feel that pride and having that self-awareness. It's like, dang, that's how the brain works.
Nah, it was all crazy to me.
I always liked memory cognition. Memory cognition is definitely, I think, one of the best things anyone should learn in college, especially for studying. So, like, it's 230 something. I'd have to look it up again, but it's definitely one of those classes that for a psych major or a social major, I think you have to still take. I don't know if it's required or if it's just one of the ones that are like your optional like psych credits or that you need to get kind of a thing, but it's definitely like one of the ones that I enjoyed at least taking, and then definitely didn't do that as like my specialty. It was behavior was mine and neuro. So
I feel like
definitely know people.
I feel like psych is. I knew from the start. I was like, "There's no way I could be a psych major," because she started like talking. My professor was talking about the brain, and I was like, "I don't like this anymore." Yeah, I didn't. I couldn't like process everything. I was like, okay, so as I'm sitting here right now, my brain is doing this, and I was like, I don't like this feeling. I'm getting nauseous. Obviously, everybody has their own thing. I actually just changed my major this past week.
Oh, really?
I did, yeah. I caved. I came in as a construction management major.
Okay.
And I realized I was like, I'm doing this all for the money, and I'm not actually going to be happy. And I was like, I'd rather just be broke and like have a major that I liked. So I switched over to mass media radio and a minor in mass media. So
nice.
Yeah, we'll see.
So you're looking to work with the radio station down there at school?
Yeah, I'll be probably sending in a little app to WZND.
It's like I can't even remember their acronym. I'm like, you could ask me years ago and I would know it. Now I'm just like, all right, my boomer mental setting in right now.
I've told my mom the name of it probably 1,000 times. And when I switched my major, she's like, "Oh, so are you gonna go work over at WGLT?" And I was like, "Nope, not the one."
Not the one.
I don't think I could ever ask her to listen, because she'd be listening to somebody in like Wisconsin or something.
Right, I know exactly.
Station, Ma.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those ones that I think about going back and doing that too, especially down there, just because I would like to kind of get back into doing more like the esports stuff and just have like a broadcasting degree instead of the psych degree, which was kind of just like I got it just because I was like it was good, and don't get me wrong, I love it. Like I definitely want to use it back then, but now it's like I've learned, I'm like, yeah, I could go back for a business degree and I'd be fine with that. Like I started counting, and I'm like, with the 5-year program, I'm getting a CPA, and I was just like, oh, this will be great. Get a master's CPA in 5 years, I'm done. Nope.
Right.
Like, and I took accounting in high school, so it's like I'm like, oh yeah, I can enjoy this, and I'm just like, oh god, I don't enjoy this.
Oh no, dude, before COVID hit me this semester, I was in an asynchronous accounting class that was obviously supposed to be in person. And after the first day of like reading the textbook and the notes, I was cussing at the top of my lungs. I'm like surprised that my neighbors didn't do like a wellness check on me, because I was just like, I don't get it. It's the first day and I don't get it, man. I was like, how do people do this? This is not cool.
No, it's definitely not fun sometimes with that. So that's why, like, if I went back, if I did a business degree, I would do business management, or I would go back and get, like, say, the mass, would you say it was mass communication?
Yeah, mass media.
Mass media, that's what it is. Mass media, probably with a minor of business management then. So then that way, like, I can get myself more established, kind of a thing, or
absolutely.
I don't know. Yeah. I think it's just like I'd be happy to do. Like I would love to be on radio.
It literally just means that I could do work in radio or TV, and who knows, maybe I'll tack on journalism somewhere in there too. Because I always thought that would be like really cool, and I can read, I could write well. So like obviously I want to keep my options open. I think that there's such like a negative, stigma around changing majors and not really knowing what you want to do when you're in college. Whether it could just be anxiety about telling your parents. Like I know for sure that I'm going to have to be here a little extra longer because I'm a junior and I just switched my major. And I've obviously had like a very weird college experience in terms of transferring in the midst of COVID era. But I definitely felt like a weight lifted for sure after changing.
Oh yeah, like I can tell you, I changed like 3 times before I got to psych, because I was accounting first, and then I went into something else with business, and then I went into computer science for literally a semester and switched that immediately into psych. So, and then once I learned like, oh yeah, I kind of like this stuff and everything, and I was thinking of being a researcher and then going to get my grad degree and everything, and I was like, oh, do I do it at ISU? Do I just come back here? Doing Chicago stuff like that. And I was just like, oh my god, that's a lot of money, and family's not going to help me, and I already have loans I have to pay back. I'm like, we're going to pay these loans back, and then we'll figure it out, and then still haven't figured it out. But I definitely took like 5 years still, regardless, because of switching. So that's something I feel like is common regardless. That people do become either that senior, either done their senior year or they're done like that super senior year. Like it happens. Like the good thing is like if you get most of your general education out of the way and then have to just do your like dedicated course classes, then it's fine. You can definitely get there. And I feel like it's like 5 to 6 years. That's not a big deal. I'm like, you're going to have to be there at least anyways if you're going to grad school and if you're being on time too. Like you're already going to be in college for a while, so that's fine.
It's such a small amount of time in your life, like compared to what else you have going on. Like when I was really sick at the beginning of the semester, and I had to drop some classes just because of how sick I was. I couldn't handle the workload, and like one of my mom's friends who's a doctor she works with COVID patients, and she was in contact with me every day, and she was begging. She was just like, you need to just drop out. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I'm already like, it's so weird where I am with college right now that it just didn't make sense to me. But, it is what it is. And if, everybody moves at their own pace, really, it always feels like when you're young, there's a standard, almost like a checkpoint you need to reach by this point. And it's just not the case, really.
Yeah, the whole get married by 25 and you're gonna have a good credit score by then and everything. I'll tell you guys now. I'm like, yeah, that's not, and have really good insurance. Yeah, so yes, your insurance does get better then, but it's still probably not in the range that you would hope. Kind of a thing. And credit by then, yeah, if you've been already starting paying your loans, you got a credit card, stuff like that, you get established pretty decently. But we're getting married, that's your prerogative. If you find someone that you like and everything, great. If you're kind of in that process of like, what, we need to wait a while kind of a thing because you want to, get a house, all that stuff and everything. Yeah, do that. I would rather tell people go get a house, or find a job that you love first before you get married, because what if you gotta move and now you're tied to somebody else and you're like, I don't want to move. Well, I'm going. Yeah, that would be my decision. I'd be like, I'm going regardless.
Right.
Kind of a thing. But I know we've sidetracked a little bit. So one of the things that I know I wanted to ask is so why mid lane? Why is that your dominant lane, I guess, that you play in?
Well, the way I got to high elo was by one tricking Katarina, and Katarina's played the mid lane, so I just started playing mid off of that. Like I'd been playing League for so long, so I obviously had like baseline mechanics on every single champion, but in rank from like season 5 to season 7, I basically only played Katarina, and then once I started to get like master and higher, I needed to get good at other champs, like proficient enough to play at high ranks, because if Katarina gets banned, then everyone will hate having me on their team. So I just started branching out once I got higher ranked.
Yeah, and especially she's a very mechanical champion, and now everyone understands her. And from back when she was pretty much the easy point and click to now,
she was a super face roll, just like draw on your keyboard, and then you'll probably get a pentakill.
Yeah, it's the rise mechanic of just hit your face on the keyboard and something will happen and they'll be dead. Yeah. Especially how many times they've changed rise now. Kind of like how they've changed Cat a little bit too to kind of balance her. I think like she's in a good state where like she doesn't need to get tweaked on abilities. I think maybe numbers is always the issue, definitely.
Yeah,
but, or items, maybe get more items, which, hey, we're getting those next season, so that's great. But definitely, because it's like I'm not really a mid laner. Like I've played like every role. Like I play every role with my friends. Like rank though, it's like Like I'm either like stuck in top or I'm jungle. That's it. Like it's pretty much it. Like I don't play bot because 3 of my friends are all supports. And they all argue with each other of like, okay, I can play support, we're playing EC. I'm like, all right, you guys decide. And then I'm like, the other 2 play mid. So I'm like, one of you needs to go mid, and then I will figure out where I'm going at that point, kind of a thing. So
yeah, but I've realized that the way to win solo queue is by having less autofills. And the way to have less autofills is to get good at other roles so you're proficient to give the autofill player his role. Like last season, I got to Challenger playing jungle, playing old Volibear, which no one got to Challenger from, so a lot of people know me for that. And I play IQ mid support, and I play support secondary, so I can like confidently play support. But I'd probably say my worst role is ADC, but Ezreal is such an easy champion, so I just play Ezreal, sit back, and scale, and I do well.
Drew's very simple where you can do that.
Yeah, you just sit back and he's super safe and it's super hard to mess up. So
yeah, he's skill shot based. So since you're a mid laner, you're used to using skill shots and everything like that. So it's very nice and comfortable for you.
All right, so I've got one. So in the 2 games of League of Legends that I've played, I have never been yelled at more in my entire life. The entire time, dude, it was, I was just getting toasted in the chat, man.
The best way to play League is just muting everyone at the start. Like whenever I'm playing on a Smurf account, I just mute all at the start of the game because it's not worth people who are just so much worse than me talking to me, and because I just want to type back. It's like, why'd you do that? It's like, I really just want to explain how bad you are, but it's not worth it, so I just mute them.
Yeah, you're playing at such a high level, you're just like peasant. You don't know what you're talking about, bro.
And it's just like they have the biggest egos too. It's like, congrats, you're Diamond 4 with a negative win rate in 2,000 games, and you have an ego bigger than the Great Wall of China. So it's like, it's just no point trying to explain it to them.
So you said Diamond, but like what rank are you?
Challenger, the highest rank.
Oh, my man. My man. That's why you're here. I appreciate that. Big things, definitely. Do you, like, obviously, that's kind of goes in hand with my other, what I just said about getting yelled at for so long. Like, what's your take on League's community? Because it's obviously known as kind of one of the more toxic ones.
Yeah, so in high elo, the way of toxicity is spam pinging and being passive aggressive, because people have learned that if you be toxic in any other way, you'll get chat restricted or banned. So league culture in high ranks has just devolved into spamming question marks or putting XD in chat or spam question mark pinging. So
yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, it's like people there are some games where everyone on your team and you're on good terms, so like no one flames each other because you don't want to get on people's bad sides. But then there's games where you get people that you just hate because they've like griefed you in a game before, or they're just like super annoying to play with, and those games just are type fests. So those games never turn out to be well.
It's actually pretty cool that like you had mentioned that, Riot had chat restrictions or whatever. I obviously have an addiction to Rainbow Six Siege, and I have seen people just put the filthiest stuff in chat, and just nothing happens. Like you could, people, they have the confidence to put anything they want in chat because they know nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, obviously, Riot's a really good studio.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great indie company. If they could just get their clients to work, that would just be great.
Yeah, true.
I would love it not to reset every single time I log in. Like, it'd be nice. Yeah. So I mean, that's my main thing is just on a toxicity thing. Yeah, I mean the game could be toxic. I think it's the same thing. I just either mute or like. I'll explain once. I'll give the chance to explain once my situation, and then they don't like it. Like, and then you get muted, and then I'll unmute you after a while. And if you're, I kind of take, there's a certain player, his name's Max, in our Discord that detaches. I take the detaches approach where it's
yeah, I know.
I say might be a lot. like when I do something bad, or like like just a bad play, you just say my B and then that's it. And if they start flaming you, okay, then mute. And then after a while, they don't see the spam ping you or different things, kind of a thing, and everything comes out the way you want it. Great, then you can unmute them, and then when they get toxic again, just mute. I think that's one of the best things in the game is like especially like shooters, like when someone's got the worst mic in the world, and you're just like, oh god, I want to mute you so
easy
bad.
Easy mute for sure.
Like it's just like easy mute, no problem, like kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Or like what we talked about last week. Where,
the vote to kick. See ya.
Vote to kick.
if you're using like a snowball, see you later, dude.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing I wish Riot would do. Like in lobby, like if you could like see someone that you're just like, oh my god, this kid's on like a 7 or 10 loss streak, and you just don't want to play with them, kind of a thing. Like I feel like if you could just vote to kick, you would, like kind of a thing. Or same thing with the toxic streamers, not Tyler one, but just people that are I can't think of his name, the one that Marty always runs into. That's the Teemo player and Platt. I can't think.
Know, but yeah, there's a really big problem with like streamer culture in Hilo. Like there are so many streamers who are just genuinely awful people who just put on a front, and then the fans just love them. Like and just like a big streamer Tarzan, everyone knows just how awful a person he is. Like, yeah, it's just so many streamers in Hilo are really toxic, and they just put up a front for the stream.
Right. Yeah, I could definitely see it, and I do think that there's a lot of that on Twitch. Any really streaming platform where it's easy to put on a show. Especially obviously nobody can really talk on like somebody like Dr. Disrespect, but the act that gets put on is so clean. Like, it's just like the best acting out there, just getting into character. So obviously, there's going to be those people that are just putting on a show and, they're just a jerk IRL.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And some people are like that. Like I can tell you, I've met Ninja before. I've seen him at different events before, different things like that. And, Ninja, when he was a kid, was very toxic, like as we still see some of that kind of, I say he's reformed more. He's kind of like Tyler, like they've reformed a little bit. It's part of their persona that they do with gaming and different things, but it's not like usually the toxicity is somewhat justified now, kind of a thing. Right. It's just like how does that shot now like go through, or it's like how are they killing me when I'm literally telling them in Among Us like who the imposter is because I saw the vent or something like that, like something silly that it's just like, okay, like is a like an understandable thing instead of a just like, oh my god, like you should do this or go do this or go do that or whatever the case is, kind of a thing, where it gets like to the point of like, okay, yeah, I don't want to watch you right now, kind of a thing. But yeah, he's definitely like a different person in person. Like he's like one of the, I wouldn't say cooler ones, but definitely someone that's like not always his gaming persona. Like one of those people. Shroud is definitely cool in person. Like
he seems like it, man. He seems like the guy I'd have a beer with.
Oh yeah, I was so mad because I was just like one of the events I went to. I think I saw him at, wasn't E3. It was just another gaming convention. It wasn't PAX or anything like that. It was just something that was near the area by him, and I was just like, I really hope he comes. And then he eventually did. I was like, yes. So I was like, oh, if I could have gotten to like talk to him a little bit more, I would have been like, dude, we need to go grab a beer after this, like right now, because I was already 21. I'm like, yes, I could do whatever, kind of a thing. And
just seems like a genuinely nice guy.
Yeah, and that's definitely one of those ones that like I've met a lot of different streamers or influencers, since that's a thing now.
Influencers, yes.
Yeah, that it's one of those things that I'm just like, yeah, like I like meeting them, I like talking to them, I like seeing like, okay, are you actually your persona still in real life, or are you just like, you just flip the switch and you're that person for the time being, and then you can like shut it off immediately and be like, oh no, I'm a very genuine person, and you just start to see them just screaming like at the top of their.
Yeah, it's for sure a different culture. Dang, I will say, like, you guys got me. One of these times I'm gonna run League again, just to try it again. And we'll see what happens.
I think if you could get it where like you have a full party of us like helping you out, kind of a thing, like a person in your community is Greg. Greg is that, and Snail are probably the ones that you could talk to that
That's true. That's true.
play League or have played League at some point, and are very easygoing to kind of play with, kind of a thing.
Right.
I think it's if you could get at least a couple of us in there, then it's like, okay, hey, we can tell you, hey, buy this item or buy this, in these situations you buy this, or like, hey, there's literally guides that they put up on the websites for a reason, just follow the guides until you get
do my research.
Yeah, until you get comfortable with the champion, and then it's like, okay, now branch out into like other items and things like that, or doing different spells or summoner spells, kind of a thing, stuff like that. But it's definitely, like League, 10 years playing it, started in college. It was great. I loved it. And now I'm like, I've been out of college for 6 years. This game is still around, like, and thriving. I'm like, if I told you how I saw esports back then and how it is now, I'm like, I wish I was in college now. Like,
I think the opportunities now are just crazy.
Yeah. My high school, I played League for my high school for all of the 4 years. When I was a freshman and my brother was a senior, we started the League club and we played in it was Chicago High School Esports, and it was like a super ragtag dinky league. And first year we got fourth, and then it became IHSEA, Illinois High School Esports Association, which is just the esports version of IHSA for sports.
Right.
And there's a LAN event at Robert Morris University, and so that was pretty fun. I had a lot of fun in those years.
So, like, Drew, we definitely are getting close to our time, but I need to know, do you flex on people from your high school so hard, like that what you're doing right now?
I mean, I don't really flex because I like being humble. Like, I don't like being in people's faces, but I do let people know.
A good guy.
I don't put it in their face, but I do like to talk about it.
You're a better man than me, because I would be like, yo, guess what I'm doing right now?
Yeah, like all my friends know. Like, all my friends are like, wow, you're getting 10K to play League of Legends for college. Like, that's pretty cool. But like I don't have like an Instagram post about it or anything.
Right. No, that's
No.
I like that though. That's humble and it's cool.
I think even if you had one, I think it's okay because of the fact that even if, say, college doesn't pan out for you and you do go into esports as like a more professional standpoint for your career, that's fine because of the fact that, hey, is you marketing, hey, you know what? I'm good enough to be on this team, and you could see me later, kind of a thing, like in LCS or what another competitive league or anything like that. Whether it's not even League of Legends, say it's Siege or Rocket League has their new one that's starting now. Same thing with you got WoW arenas. Sorry, I go back to the MMOs all the time. That's just like, it's nice to see that there is those competitive stuff. But I'm not going to look at a person and just be like, okay, you're a tool because you said that, like, kind of a thing. Like, it is an ego boost, and I think there's nothing wrong with some simple ego boost like that. Like, that's awesome. Like if I could have bragged like that, hey, you know what? I got a team. I could have made a post like on Facebook because Insta wasn't really a big thing back then.
Yeah.
Like saying like, hey, you know what? Like, I want a team, and I can definitely get paid and like do these different things. That's awesome. Like I would promote that initially maybe, but after that I wouldn't be like, oh my god, like I do this or I do that, or like like unless it was required. Like like you look at merch companies like 100 Thieves, where they promote a crap ton, kind of a thing. Yes, with social media, then I can understand why they do things like that. But otherwise, no, I think it's an accomplishment more than anything that you can say like, hey, I'm on a team and I'm getting paid to do this.
Absolutely.
Now, if you're saying, hey, I'm on a team and I'm getting paid 10K, 20K, whatever the case is for tuition or whatever amount they're trying to give you, stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe you're going a little overboard, unless it's like, okay, hey, you got $1 million contract with FaZe Clan or another big gaming company, and I'd be like, okay, I see you, man. Like, I see you.
It's definitely something to be proud of, for sure, because you've worked hard at the game and you've obviously put in the time and the hours to get where you are right now, and it's super cool. And like I would probably be one of those people that like at least put out a tweet about it. I know Gigatron would probably put it on MySpace.
Oh, hey, I'm not that boomerish, all right? Okay. Hey, it wouldn't be on that. It would be on some DOS system because
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, I had to learn that stuff. I still have to use that stuff for work. Anyways, it definitely would be something. I think Twitter would be my Stone Age thing than anything than MySpace, because Twitter I've had for so long. I've had that name on Twitter for 12,
the dawn of man.
15 years now.
Jeez. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like when Twitter came out, like I immediately got it. And I've had it since. Like never changed, never needed to, all that stuff. So it's kind of nice, kind of different. So
it's a good comp.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Drew, I mean, man, it was so much fun being able to talk to you and getting some more of this information about League. And it's super cool that you are as young as you are and you're already doing these big things, and like can't wait to see what you guys are able to do as our Varsity League of Legends team. It's super exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time to join us today and kind of explain a little bit more about you, know where you're coming from, and I'll talk about kind of League and the community and everything. Like I can't wait to see more of your guys' games. I know I think you guys played 2 games on Tuesday, or was it 3 games?
Yeah, it was 2 games. It was
Gotcha.
a best of 3 every 2 out.
Easy.
Yeah, it was definitely nice to kind of just see that. So I can't wait to see more of those games and see you guys probably win the league. I hope you win the league.
I hope so. That'd be good.
Hey, go Redbirds, am I right?
Exactly.
True.
All right, that'll do it for us. I'm Max Martin, joined by Gigatron and Drew, and we will see you guys next week.
Have a good week, guys.